YouTube is a very difficult place to navigate. Many of us are finding it more and more difficult to navigate, to trust, to see, to know who is real and who is not. Sometimes we don't know everything and we make a mistake. And it's not intentional, but we try. Many concentrate on the bad things on YouTube. Sometimes many of us get sucked in by drama, which is human. It is thousands of years old, a human's need for a bit of drama. But if one makes a mistake unintentionally and really cares, the pain goes deep. We want to repair it. We want to make it right. But we can't always make it right. So we blame ourselves. And there are many insecure, sad, lonely people who blame themselves, who are at the end of their tether, in their real life and have come to YouTube for escape or whatever they wish to find. And when you make a mistake, even if it's something you didn't realise was wrong, if you're not careful, you can sit and fret over it for days, or just walk away, and you have to do what's right for yourself. And how do we learn to truly forgive ourselves? How do we stop blaming ourselves for the quotes, mistakes, quotes we have made? How do we find peace within to move forward instead of always looking backwards? How do we turn this around before we truly lose ourselves again? These questions, they haunt me, each and every day. And just when I think I'm making even the smallest of steps forward here on this YouTube platform, there is something or someone that pulls me back down into the abyss of pure sorrow and shame. Sorrow of love gone wrong or lost. Shame for allowing it to consume a heart and a mind. We know we must learn to forgive ourselves for all our errors of judgment, and it's one of the hardest things we've ever had to face, being one of our own worst enemy, whilst facing the deepest of all criticisms. It's very hard to overcome, especially when you lose sight of the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes we feel like we are solely living on the outside whilst slowly dying in the inside. I ask myself, and I ask you out there if you're listening, all the good people out there, and there are good people out there, are we never to be acknowledged for having a good heart? Never feeling like we will be truly cherished, listened to or understood for the people that we are? What does it truly take for someone to see the worth that is in us, or indeed me? All these questions and yet no answers. Makes it hard to believe that you can matter much to those around you. All these questions, they constantly swirl in my mind as I try to figure out the answers. The pressure of finding these answers lies heavily on my shoulders. Like many, I am a strong woman, person, whatever. But when I face one challenge after another, without really healing, I tend to find myself questioning my own existence. I do not want to be remembered as a person who was always in pain. I want my self-description to be of a woman who, despite her many adversities, found her sense of being as an example to others. Life is exactly what we make of it. If I continue to allow myself to wallow in these fears that many of us have, I know, then I have truly succumbed to my own demise. Even with the most clouded of mind, I know I cannot allow this anymore. I know that my heart cannot endure the pain and disappointment that it bears. So I must learn to recognise that I'm human and that I will make mistakes. How I learn from these mistakes is what separates me from another. It is what defines my uniqueness, regardless of the loneliness that surrounds me constantly. I must remember that I am needed and wanted by others. Not everyone, but some others. The only way to do this is to try to forgive myself or you to forgive yourself, whilst realising that those who also recognise the true beauty of you, of all of us, are the ones that deserve to be part of our lives, or my life. As the haze lifts more and more each day, I do believe we will find our way again, many of us. There are some more bumps along this road they call life. I do not like to talk about my personal life on here, and I'm not going to go into detail. But those words that I just spoke reflect many years in my life, and many years in yours, I'm sure, who is listening, and people that I know who are listening, and all the questions I've had surrounding the struggles I've endured. Sometimes even the strongest of people have very rough times, where even they question their own place in the world. So I hope that these words might help somebody who has felt or still feels the same way that I have done and do. Just know you're not alone. My best advice, and the only advice that I can take for myself personally, is to take one step at a time, one day at a time, whilst living in the present. Do not look back on the past, but instead learn from it, so it will lead you, hopefully, into a better future. We need positivity. We need to talk to each other. We need to try and hear. And to know people do care. People do care. They do make mistakes, but they do care. Because we must have hope, folks. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the girl is heard, and sore must be the storm that could all abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Emily Dickinson. Take care. Stay safe. Look after yourself. See you soon. Much love. Carrie Pink.